This is the drip machine, dynamic rotary inventory platform, and I'll be running you through on how to control this machine. So we're going to start up the machine. First thing we're going to do is the power button's in the back here. Just press that, take your hand out, close the door. Then we're going to wait for the machine to fully boot up, be about 2 minutes.
Once the ignition server is started up, we open up the kiosk on the Kindle tablet.
So when the machine starts moving, this means it's booting up. It's finally made connection with the Pi. When that happens, what you can do now is go to here and open your browser. We got kiosk browser for this tablet here that automatically will connect to the Ignition website. And now we are in the HMI and the machine is now fully operational. In order to run through a full cycle of the machine, you just choose what item you want here on the HMI. So I'm going to ask for a Twix. The machine will rotate to the correct location, go up, grab the item, get faulted, clear the faults by going here, fixing that, close it.
By holding the red stop button for 1 second or more, you can send a fault reset code to the clear core.
It'll come down. I'll run through a quick cycle of the machine. If you want to grab any of the items that are within any of the boxes, just choose what you want from this screen. So I'm going to grab a rose and then present the item to you. Wait for the machine to be done running. What you can do is, if you want to deposit the box or pick up another box, you can just press another item here, but for now we're just going to deposit by hitting this button here. It's good that this happened because it showed the machine going into fault. We can easily fix the fault by first going into here, readjusting the arm or box in this case, closing the door. Now since we opened the door, it created another fault, so we're going to clear that fault. Send it one more clear fault, which you can do by holding down this button until it flashes. And then it finished its cycle and deposits the box. For each of the HMI screens, this is going to be your main one where you have all the items you want to choose from. If you ever want to change any of these names, you can come in here, hit change labels, and say I want to change emoji ring to cookie, because why not? Hit enter, click off the side, unclick that. Now you've changed it. Up here is the messages that the clear core is sending to you. So right now it's in done status, so all these buttons are accessible. This here is what we're sending to the clear core. So when we click any of these buttons, it'll send a message here that the clear core will read. If anything goes wrong, this box here will tell us what has gone wrong. That's our fault box. We have a reset, which will send a clear fault if the machine ever ends up in a fault state. And our deposit box, where you just want to put a box back. Then in our other tabs, we have engineering. Here we have a bunch of just more of a debugging stuff. Like we can change any of the lights on these buttons. We can see the temperature of the Pi, which is not working right now. We can move the arm into various positions, which will only really work when the arm is not holding anything. And we can home the whole disk tower. So we can also reboot the clear core. We can enable or disable the buttons manually. I'd recommend not doing that. And that's pretty much it. You can send custom messages to the clear core. I also don't recommend that unless you know what each of the codes mean. Besides that, we have a video page, which is not working right now. Well, and that's pretty much it for now. So each of these lights here are also buttons, and they each have their own functionality and meaning. So if this red light ever comes on, it means the machine's in a fault status, which you can just hold down this button for 1 second and it'll clear the fault. This button here, or it's not a button, it's just a light in our case, but if the Raspberry Pi or whatever you're running your ignition server on is overheating, and this will turn on. This will turn on when the machine is homing. This will turn on if the machine is in a done, running, or okay status. So right now we're in the done state, so that right now it's on. This you hold down if you want to hard reset the clear core. And that is all the functionality for these buttons. I should also say that when you hit E-stop, it'll kill all 3 motors in the machine, so they all relax. Recognize that the E-stop is pressed. Now, when you do this, follow the instructions as it'll say right here. So E-stop is pressed, unpress to continue. Reset the machine into a safe position before fault clearing. It's fine enough as it is, so I'm going to hit clear fault. And now the machine is, it says it's okay, but all the motors are still disabled. So what we're going to do now, we can either hold down this button for 1 second to reset the just the clear core, or we can go into engineering, hit CC reboot, and then hit reboot. A light came on telling us that it has indeed rebooted. And if you give it a few seconds, this machine will properly reset stuff as it is doing now. If you ever want to upgrade this machine later, there's various things you can do. You definitely could do a better job than we did on this door, get some proper hinges, maybe a T-slot frame around it. You can take these cups here and redesign them, maybe even CNC them out of metal to make this a more higher tolerance system. If we were to ever redo this machine, we'd probably reconsider how we would do this arm system. Instead of having a rotating servo, we'd probably have a pneumatic arm that would just go far right, far left. It could extend and retract. That would solve some problems we've had with this machine. You could probably get, say, a better HMI. Right now we're just using a Kindle that can connect to the Raspberry Pi. If you can get a faster microcomputer than the Raspberry Pi, that would certainly help. But overall, that's pretty much the changes that, if you had the option to, you could add to this machine. You probably shut down this machine. The first thing you want to do is you want to connect to the Raspberry Pi either through VNC or a HMI cable. Right now I'm connected to the Raspberry Pi through VNC on my computer here. I'm just going to shut down here. Shut down. So now that the Pi is turned off, we can turn off the rest of the machine. Just open the door. Reach back here to that power button in the back. You can see that. Go back here. Turn off. And now the machine is properly turned off. The HMI looks like it's on, but right now it's not really connected, so you can just turn that off.